Good evening, guys. It's your boy Icy Jones, and we're here with another Beer Talks where we talk about news, views, and many more issues. Right now, I have on my right-hand side
Wayne Riley in the building, part of the LCG Lamb Chop Gang.
And we have to my left,
Levi Pink.
and we have to my further farthest left,
Omar.
Don't know, guys. Listen, today we're going to be talking about so many stuff, but right now I'm going to talk about what you see in front of us is bloody lamb chops. Anyways, the plate was full, and I don't eat meat. The plate was full, and certain people that dig out them teeth and them thing there. Like, listen to me right now, people.
Big up
L.
Kitchen.
Was it L's Kitchen?
Yeah, big him up still.
ELZ Kitchen.
Come all the way from Enfield.
Came all the way from Enfield to come to the southern part of London to serve up the whole thing. He done jerk chicken, he done. I heard it was jollof rice there. I heard like my man was trying to serve up some prawns and everything there. Trust me, my man went there. He took a lobster out.
He's telling the story wrong, fam. He's telling it wrong. He came all the way from Enfield, to bring food for a music video, and we bum rushed the thing, and we just said, you know what? Run some of them lamb chops. That's what happened.
Correct.
So this is why people outside of South don't rate us. They're like, oh, you're from South, innit? We do stuff like that. So shout out to the Enfield people. We're not all like that, because guess what? I never had any. I was civilized. It was these lot. These are the South people that give us a bad name.
The meat eaters.
Big up M24.
Big up.
Shout out M24.
Yeah, big up M24 is his
Just
video
basically
shoot
done his
everything.
what was it, trap video? Music drill video. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm gonna get onto this subject, guys. We were talking on the WhatsApp group, and we was talking about drill music and the state of the music. Is it just a phase that we are going through with drill music, or is it just something like you think is gonna survive and stay in this current climate? Wait, I'm gonna start with you, my brother.
Well, drill. How old is drill? Like, if you ask me, I'd say, if I was to guess,
Around 5 years.
5+ years.
5+.
Yeah. There's other people that might say it's longer, because obviously we're just talking about when we knew about it. When it started, wherever it started, when they started doing it in like the estates or whatever, doing their own thing, you could include that. I think it will last, and the reason I say it's gonna last is because they said the same thing about grime when grime started, and now people talk about grime like it's the mature music, and I was there like when grime raves were getting locked off. You get what I'm trying to say? And bare people talking bad about grime, like the UK garage man wanted to separate themselves. That's how they got grime in the first place. Because when I was doing when I was doing grime,
It's kind of all the same.
it was before the title grime was even came about. You get what I'm trying to
about the whole
say?
sex days and what have you not.
Before even then.
What do you call it?
So it's like, look how it's evolved now. And it's like now when P Money does an album, people respect it like this is proper music, you get me? So, you know, you just have to kind of just embrace it. Now with drill, I think people think it won't last, but the reason they think that is because the majority of the people that's doing drill, they're young, innit? Like, but what you got to remember is a lot of these youths, they haven't grown up. So it's like, I know there's some of them that's like done some badness, some of them have gone jail, blah, 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 but we haven't got to the stage where any drill artist has grown up, come out of jail, turned his life around. When that happens, you're going to hear the music change, because they're not going to be talking about running down the ops and all that forever. Like some of these these drill artists, I would guess, I don't even think any of these drill artists are past 30 yet.
That's
True.
You get what I'm saying?
I guess that's part of the question.
The age demographic.
That's part of the question, because is it a thing where when them man get to 30, they're going to stop doing drill now? Because, I mean, see, I'm not trying to I don't want to put it in a box negatively, but from what I associate drill with is a lot of the kind of run him down and chef him and juk and so in my eyes I'm thinking of what you're saying. When the man do get that little bit of experience or that bit of age and experience, is it a thing where they're gonna stop making drill?
I don't think they'll stop making drill. I just think I think the content in drill is gonna change, because like I said, there's so much things these youths haven't gone through. They've seen death, they've seen jail, but they haven't got to the stage where, right, you know what, our ends have squashed it. We're not beefing no more. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I come from the era where Peckham and Ghetto used to beef all the time, and now you see videos with Snap Capone and Coleon together. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, you haven't allowed these drill artists to grow old yet for them to show that maturity. That's all it is. It's just time.
So I'm gonna get an opinion from Levi as well. What's your opinion on this one right here?
Personally, I don't know. I don't mind drill music. I don't love it. It's not something I'll be like, oh yeah, let me like find that song like necessarily. But I do think it's a good kind of, in a way, it's kind of positive for young people. But I do think it creates a lot of hype and anger between the youth, like of today. And it's like, because it's a way, you know, a lot of people are getting into music. And then they go into like different studios and they're doing diss tracks at each other really quickly on these beats, and it's a bit mad, isn't it? That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it's a genre of music, isn't it? Like you said, it's like it probably will stay. It'll come in and out, like everything does come in and out of fashion, and
Probably change and that.
yeah, well, yeah, it probably will. And I feel like it has already changed. Because like I was just saying to someone a minute ago earlier. About, I said Heady One, but he was like, he don't really make drill. But to me, I suppose I don't really understand. I thought it's more the sound, the beat, and also the flow, the rap. So it's like, if you rap like that, that's drill rap.
I think it's because he knows better.
It's the beat. No, he agreed with me. No one, no, he was
you know
agreeing
what
with
was
me.
better?
No,
I was agreeing with you.
Oh, Heady One, yeah, that's it, yeah. No.
But the
But
thing is, I've noticed about drill music, they've blamed it a lot on what's going on in society today, like the knife.
I don't
crime
think it's
and
helped.
Because boy,
But I wouldn't blame it.
It's been in the public, it's been on the news, and they're saying that drill music on a whole is the reason as to why these young kids are starting to like stab. This is what I'm saying. It's
Bruv, they
just
said
what
the same thing about
I
Brian.
don't know, but I
So
don't
that's
think
what
it
I'm saying,
helps,
is it a
because
phase?
when you think subconsciously these kids are going out, like if every day you're watching a certain thing or listening to certain things, it kind of does impact on you, because you start singing along to yourself. You might actually at one point start believing you can do that stuff.
I agree with everything you're
it's
saying, like-
you know, I think it does play a small part.
Of course it's an
No,
Like-
you know what? No, give yourself more credit. It doesn't play a small part. It plays a big part
Yeah,
in the violence.
yeah.
But this is what I'm saying, yeah.
Well,
and
yeah.
this isn't you, because I've seen bare people talking about drill. I like drill. I like the beats. I don't really like how some of the MCs spit. I find some of them simplistic. I like some of them. Others I don't like. But the thing about it is, yeah, when people talk about drill, they're just what I call intellectually dishonest. Because these youths that's doing drill right now, yeah. Compare it to grime. When we was doing grime, enough of us was doing grime from youth clubs. These youths ain't doing drill from youth clubs. They're having to do more with less than what we had when we was doing grime. So
You give them that credit,
so that's why they're trapping. That's why they're having beef, because they're fighting over the same little bit of dead food that they're shot in their ends. So they're beefing and drilling or whatever between themselves.
That's what their
So
music is
it's the
about,
lack of resources that they got why they're doing it. Again, I'm not saying that the violence isn't there. I'm not saying that the violence doesn't contribute in the songs, doesn't contribute to what they're doing, obviously. But when people make it sound like it's a source, it's more like an accelerant. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It doesn't cause the fire. It accelerates it, but it don't cause it.
Definitely, yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah, bruv, you're leaving your show, and you got social media. You're showing these youths cars.
Yeah.
You're doing things like bare people today. They're driving nice cars, but they got them on finance. These youths don't know you got it on finance. They think you just got it. And then when they come out of college, they're realizing, right, if I go uni, it's going to be $9,000 a year. And so it's mad. So they got to do all kind of stuff for money. So they've got less resources than we have when we was youths. And then we look at them funny. And then something else that happened. I'm not going to say his name, but he was a radio host. He used to be an MC once upon a time.
Oh Lord.
And he was talking about, I'm not saying where he's from. Like, stop trying to draw me out, fam. I'm not saying it. But this goes to anyone. If you back in the day was a grime MC, but you turned to like a radio host or whatever, I don't want to hear you talking about how bad these youths are, because guess what? When you was doing the grime thing, you was talking crap.
Mystery.
And these youths, they grew up listening to man, innit?
Yeah.
Like, so if you was a grime MC, like I was once upon a time, but you was talking crud, which I wasn't, I don't want to then hear you change your tone and say, oh, these youths are mad. Bruv, they grew up listening to you.
Well, I
You
hear
get what I'm
that
trying to
because it was a point in
Take
time.
ownership. It's like what I said last week, innit? Like, if my son does bad, I'm going to own it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people act like these youths just came out the womb like that. They never came out the womb chefing people,
There's
fam.
a point in time where every grime MC had a Mac. Every grime MC had a Mac in their bars.
Bruv, I was there.
So, like,
Every grime MC had a Mac. I
sometimes-
remember that. Do you know what I mean? This is one of the reasons why I stopped doing grime. I mean, the way I look at drill music, I've got an old soul. So I'm quite old man in my own way, but I have to look at it with a view from the bridge and not try not to be biased, because I was someone who hip hop was my culture.
Yeah.
All of the elements. I was a break dancer. I tried graffiti. I tried my hand at DJing, MCing. So hip hop, the culture, the lifestyle was for me. And I mean, when we were growing up, they blamed a lot of stuff on hip hop and rap music.
I remember.
So for me to then turn around, because I mean, when I was rapping, when I was younger, and when I was listening to rap music, people from the next generation, the generation before us, or 2 generations, they turn off that rap music and they don't want to hear that. They want to hear some Al Green.
Al Green.
So who would I be? I'd be just as wrong as they were to condemn these youths. I mean, I think a lot of it is what Wayne's saying. It's show and prove.
So what is the whole difference that you have to show nowadays? Like, what, I wouldn't say difference, but what is it that we do different these days than
What music?
In the music, yeah. So what is the influence? Why are they so influenced to do it the way they're doing it?
Because
right
they've got
think-
social media.
Well, I heard a bit was like Chief Keef and stuff like that. That's where they got the idea of drill from in the beginning. So it always kind of comes over from overseas, and then also I think it's a thing of like, one person seeing it sounds good. It sounds that, because it does. Some of the tracks are alright. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like they go off like so. I think they hear it, and then somebody just wants to sort of copy that style.
Boy, so like how you see settings change, like people had to go use their Craven belly. Magic! Yeah, so like we're going on again, we're still talking about bloody drill right now. Like we was talking about earlier, Levi, you was making a point, and I want you to continue that point. To keep going on where let's go from where you left off.
Yeah, so I was basically just saying about how the beats that I use for drill, I feel like people want to sort of not copy, but someone hears the beat,
They sound too similar.
They want to do the same, so that's why it starts to become a little bit of an issue in like I say in bashment music. There's a lot of beats that are reused.
Yeah.
Even in like grime music, a lot of the beats were used the same way. Like even still now, they still use like the wifey rhythm, or do you know what I mean? So many people do these.
Why do you ask me about the wifey rhythm? Why you ask me about the pum pum rhythm? What's wrong with you?
Pum pum rhythm, wife rhythm.
You see, you and you, fam. You both snaked me today. You and the cameraman behind there, he's all smiling. You lot can't see him. So what Levi was saying, and to reiterate, she's saying some of the beats in drill sound the same. She's right. And you know what? It's not just drill.
And the words.
Yeah, it's the way they say it. Like I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna try and impersonate any drill rapper right now. I'm just not doing it.
Round here, because more time I'm hearing it sounds similar to bloody, we call it mumble rap.
No, don't disrespect the thing. That's one thing. Listen, let me tell you, and this is another thing. Yeah, this is another thing. Give the drillers some credit, fam. Yeah, they've got a better vocabulary than mumble rappers. Like, don't diss the youths, them, fam. Like and that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. Drill hasn't got to evolve yet, because these kids they're spitting with high vocabulary. Like, I'm hearing them use certain words. Like, obviously they make up certain words and whatever, the chefings and the queckings and the this, that, and that, the third, but they're saying certain things. And you know what? I heard a lyric here from Young Diz. I know he's in jail now.
Oh wow! And
this lyric I'm going to recite. I'm not going to sing it like word for word, but he said something along the lines of, "You think I care if that she's crying that her son's dead or whatever? But you think I care that his whole life is ahead? What about the civilian that he killed?" And I'm like, that's kind of true, fam. Like, you're killing civilians and then like you get banged on by like your ops and like, because you're killing people that ain't in the game like that. So he's got a point.
There's rules to this game, man.
I can't like, it's like when I watch The Wire, innit? Like when Omar, you don't know. Like, he was saying he ain't gonna be robbing or killing no civilians. It's people that's in the game.
Yeah, never put my gun on a man, a working man.
Yeah, so in a way they kind of got some morals there. Again, I'm not making excuses for them, but I don't think people are even taking the time to listen to it that deep.
Some of them do have different morals, definitely. Yeah. But that's all I was saying about these young people. Not a lot of them are coming like, you know, the original like Scarface idea of like no women, no children or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of them are they're just in this. They're just kind of young, and some of them are like 16, 17. Like they're really young.
Do you know what it is, fam? Yeah, we're in a different generation. Now, where our generation, we're growing up with respect and manners and what have you not. No.
You're making us sound old.
No. I'll tell you why I say no. Hold on, I'll tell you why I say this. Hold on, I'm gonna get to my point.
I ain't got no grey hairs.
Yeah, but regardless of that, you have parents that gave you those morals and installed those. You had someone install those morals. They didn't fall out the sky.
Just to reiterate, I've got no grey hairs. My hairline is not receding. Yeah, he's making us sound old.
Listen, all right. Number one, people, you gotta understand. Yeah, you see this aging thing. Yeah, I don't get older, I get wiser in it. So when you can kind of capture that mentality, then you kind of understand it. Back to what I was saying, you have people that gave you those morals. The age of parents have got a lot younger.
Facts.
So therefore, the whole thing, because what's happened is you had certain people that have moved out of their yard before time. So now it's like, oh, I could do whatever I want. Most of us wanted to get out of your yard and do whatever you want. But when you haven't learned those lessons before, and this is what a lot of these parents are, put it this way, I say it like this, you've got a lot more legal guardians than you have parents. And that's where the whole, this is what I'm talking about with the whole difference in generation. Not everyone's got that, like Levi said, that whole no woman, no children. Certain man don't give a damn. I've seen videos of man trying to dap him man outside of school.
But they've been doing that for years, and it's not necessarily. You could say it's even my generation's kind of like that. If I'm so much younger than you guys, but realistically, I don't think it's just 92. But I don't think it's just that parents. It's a whole thing. Like it's schools. Like remember, children can't be beaten in school now. Do you know what I mean? But in like our parents' era, they would get beat at school. Things have changed, not just at home, but from the whole.
My teacher had permission to walk miles from my parents when I was in like year 2.
But this is what I'm saying. So everyone's had a different sort of upbringing. But I feel like these days, young kids, they can't be told what to do even in school, let alone at home. So and that's where they mostly spend their time.
Well, it all starts at home.
So no, but it doesn't. It actually mostly starts at school because a lot of children start school from the age of 4. Like they're very young. Once they're in school, what can a parent do when the child's gone all day to influence that child and bring that child up to how they believe they should be? You only get the night time with your child. I'm not saying you don't have enough time, but some people ain't even there at the night time because they're out working or they're doing certain things. So you have to think about it on a real life perspective of like some things are just like you're right, but there's not a lot that can be done for morals to be implemented on kids in a school of like 80 children.
The point that Levi made was that a lot of the beats sound the same, but it's not just drill that does that, because what a lot of producers do, they use loops. Like they sample the loops in it. So back in the day, you would literally make your drum pattern yourself, innit? But now they just literally just get it online or whatever, and they're all using the same. They're all using the same sound library. They're using the same. They're using the same loops and everything.
It's funny though, because today a lot of them try to call it a challenge.
Well, no, I think a lot of them were putting out.
And it never used to be a challenge back in the day.
Their tunes to get recognition and then say, yeah, here's a because
people just take it upon themselves to spit on the beat and say it's a challenge.
No, I think it's a bit more than that. I think a lot of it's what you got artists that will have a tune or
some people do it themselves.
Artists will have a tune and he wants to promote it. And
sometimes,
I mean, I think, all right, if we go back, that went back to like man like Bashy then. Because when Bashy put out the tune Black Boys and said, all right, cool, I'm going to share it with people. Now what people are doing, and remember, we're in the day and age.
It's always been shared though.
So
music, even R&B.
It hasn't. Not with hip hop. A lot of people weren't sharing their beats and letting people get the rhythm and what have you not. And
everyone had to have their own shit.
Yeah, I suppose. It was a different sort of era. But when people realised that maybe a remix is working, or
it's a good promotion
and when people realise the longevity they want to have for their music, like it keeps longevity because alright, someone might bring out that new song Tiana Taylor and they brought back that sound, but it's still going to make some people want to listen to the old song again. So it's just like it's that marketing in a way, isn't it?
I still think the drill thing is, I'd say just give it time. It's like grime is like, how old is grime? I'd say the best, anything from 15 years old now.
It's 15 to at least.
People thought that grime was gonna die, and it's still here.
And it came back on
You know what I'm trying to say?
But trapping ain't dead.
I think it really depends on what you like as well, though.
It went quite.
Yeah,
This is probably what's gonna happen with drill, yeah, because grime went quiet, yeah, and then they started locking off all the raves. There was no raves in London no more, and all the raves had to be out of London. Shout out to the people up north, Birmingham, Wolverhampton.
Yeah, big shout.
To be honest, yeah, I don't think people in Birmingham, Wolverhampton, and them sides get enough props.
No,
they don't.
They kind of kept the grime scene
Do you know
alive.
what? This is the thing that I
For a
was
period
saying.
of
I said it. This is a problem with the UK. With the US, you got like LA and Chicago and this and that, and they all turn up together. A lot of people forget about the other cities in the UK. I mean, just to briefly go into it, I mentioned to a few of you behind the scenes about the top 50 list of lyricists in the UK. Now the UK is wide. Yeah, they did. If I show it to you,
It's terrible.
oh, if I show it to you, you're gonna look at it like, are you taking a mic? Who? What?
I think somebody would just put in the names that they could remember as they went along.
Nah, no, they didn't. They done it strategically. They gave it points off of a lot of things. There's a key at the top of it. I'll show it to you at the end of this. They forgot about a lot of artists around the UK. There's artists up and down the UK, like, you know, Morris Delta 7, Malik, and like there's loads of artists,
Chung family,
right, that are not just UK based. Paris
How old are we gonna be every week?
No, it's not about that. You know what I mean? It's about giving recognition.
You know what? It's because you don't know your history, fam.
Right.
Wow.
But my point is, you're right. A lot of people forget about the other cities. When we talk about UK music, a lot of people kind of generalize. Yeah, you got a few people like Bugsy Malone and Ghetto, but I'm talking about on a whole scale. To have a handful, a lot of people forget about the UK and they kind of generalize UK music with London.
Yeah,
that brother ain't the same.
Yeah, they do. But
we have to big up the up north and down, even down south, like Bristol and them cities there. They've got crazy music scenes, which it's like they get the support is amazing, man. If you go down there, the vibe that you get. They keep a lot of that alive from grime to yes, of course.
And we wasn't always reciprocating it the same.
Nah, man, big up Bristol, man.
We couldn't get used to that accent for a period of time.
I think as well, there's smaller cities in a sense, so it's harder to break out if you're coming from a smaller town and there's not a lot of people. Because that's what I say about the UK compared to the US as well. There's more people there, so there's always going to be a lot more going on to a certain extent. Obviously, you got to be out here to take over the world. So, but you know, people need to branch out to the rest of the world. When you're from people in the US don't even know that there's another place in England. They just think England is England. They're not educated geographically, not necessarily. So it's hard for them to be like, oh yeah, that guy's from Manchester or that one's from Birmingham.
They're starting
or that
to get it now,
here,
especially from football, because a lot of them are like, yeah, big up Manchester United, and like, so a lot of them are starting to get it from football. Yeah, but
that's it. They still don't know. Like, they don't know. So it's about them educating themselves to a certain extent, but they're not really that. They just like the music.
I think these platforms,
just like rap music.
These platforms like Link Up TV and what have you,
and they call it the UK,
should be reaching out. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm disappointed because I thought, oh yeah, they do. But alright, for example, I thought Channel U was gonna like, you know, BRMTV was gonna have alright, you're gonna set up a base in Manchester and you might laugh, but the thing is, I generally thought that that's gonna be all like, alright, we got something. Like, next thing they're gonna probably do is set up a base in the major cities, Birmingham and Durban, and then work around the talent.
Back to the drill thing. Like I said, we're not giving drill a chance to kind of to evolve. This is what I was saying. People are shutting it down too early.
It's the understanding, I believe. People do not understand drill music. Like, it was the same for grime. It was the same for hip hop, and it was the same for, what did they call it? Secular music at the time. So I'm saying it's all going through stages. So I'm thinking, on a general whole, drill music is gonna find its space and it's gonna find
even soul to some extent. When soul came in, it was a bit like, you know what I mean, people remember they came from rock and roll, and so, you know what I mean, everything's about a transition, and at the end of the day, yeah, our generation was, you know, hip hop and R&B and what have you not, and this generation's thing is drill. And I've got to give it that respect because, like I said, with hip hop, where it was a culture for me, I might not fully understand the drill culture, and a lot of it seems negative or ratchet, but it is their culture.
You know what? Yeah,
It's what they enjoy doing as well.
I'm past the age where I would really go to an event.
I'd never go to. I wouldn't look like that.
I'm past it, but I would be curious to see what it's like
At a drill
when a
event.
certain, well, not a drill event. No, that's a bit too much.
Oh.
Yeah.
A drill event. But
We were talking about drill.
I'd like to see what the crowd's reaction would be to a certain drill track when it drops.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
What, in a club,
Because I
or-
have witnessed it myself. Because I do go to events sometimes. But
Okay.
Because I'm kind of young, not old as these lot.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Ageism.
But no, sorry. But yeah, it goes off. The young people love it.
Well,
like
they
they
must be.
literally,
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. I've been at a few
loving it. They're
events.
proper
But
loving
come
it.
on,
Like,
you remember how we was in tunes
Yeah,
when certain tunes dropped.
There's a tune there's an old tune called Angry with Clue.
No, literally. See like that gun name
Yeah,
tune?
that one.
I was shocked how much the kids literally, not the kids. That's a bit.
Fam, Lil Jon was one of the champions for it.
No, when I said Clue, there's a drill tune that I've heard.
No, yeah.
Where there's a drill tune with Clue. I think his name's Smirks and Max, and it's a tune called Angry. And it's like, I just know the name goes, what's it called? Pull up, bang, jump out, gang. That tune there, bang.
That sounds like it.
Yeah,
But then you know what? A big one I remember.
I'm saying,
and they're all doing the dances,
You see
and
that
I'm
tune
just
there?
like, wow,
That tune
this
there.
is
I literally
real.
want to test out what it's like if I was just in a rave, like in
And
a
dropped
dance,
it.
yeah, and just dropped it. I just
But
wanna
then,
see the
I've seen
that
that.
atmosphere.
I've seen that. I mean, another big one that we had in our generation was dip, set, dip, set, dip, set. When you heard that, certain girls was like, all right, cool, move back to the side. Because they knew it was going to be shoving and push. Like, you ever been to Rampage?
Yeah, pow.
Before Pow, More Fire Crew.
Oh, yeah.
That was the tune. Oi,
do that more
that
fire
tune there, certain tunes.
Yeah, gun finger
Again, like I said, man, like Lil Jon is notorious for it. His tunes make you want. It makes me just want to fling a chair across the room. Yeah.
And what
It
I'm
makes
saying
me-
is,
Get your vibe.
Yes.
so here's what I'm gonna say, yeah, to all you rappers listening now. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be a drill artist. Get someone like Tiny Boost. Get someone like, if you could, I don't know how you do this, but Crazy Tip. And
That would be amazing.
wait, and someone else who's hype that just goes.
Temper T.
Yeah.
See
Put
that?
them on a-
I messed at the same time.
Put those three on a drill tune. Because they're kind of they're past that stage where they don't need to talk about chefing or nothing like that. They're just hype because
Do
of
you
their
know who
voice.
I-
Put them on a drill tune and watch what happens.
Oh, do you know who I did
what
like?
happens?
Who has got that reaction? What you're talking about? Chapel ain't dead. My connect still breathing. I'm telling you, when that tune
I
drops,
like that tune, but it
That's
don't.
why I said section.
but when that
verse,
tune,
word,
I hear
word,
you.
word,
Yeah, that's
word.
possible. When that tune drops in the dance,
No, but no.
blood, if you don't see everyone,
like-
Chapel ain't dead. Everyone's gonna
No,
go
I
off.
like Smoke Boys section. Smoke
Oh,
Boys.
yeah.
I like
Change
them,
the name,
but
yeah.
that tune that you're talking about, it don't make the hairs on the back of my head go.
Yeah, not
like a drill tune.
maybe not me,
I can
but
go gym to a drill tune.
yeah, 'cause they got energy.
Yeah.
They got energy.
Like you know what drill's like? It's like listening to Onyx.
Slam.
It's mad. And what I'm saying is, yeah, you see how you're smiling when I said that, yeah? A lot of us ain't giving drill that time to grow.
To develop, yeah,
No,
no,
but
that's
it is.
good.
I was gonna say that because when I first heard, like, sometimes I was walking on the street and I couldn't believe I heard these little girls listening to this. I was like, really, is this song really going off everywhere? That gun lane, it was doing my head in at one point. And my friend was like, I like it, and then I just listened to his new one
Leave
with
that pink just twist up your
Taze and Presser, and it was a lot of people were putting it down. Like, obviously, Presser's not even from the UK, but I thought it was quite good. That there was one bar in it, and I love it. Like when did it say? Taze that she want bad man up in her what? She want bad man
I
up
know,
in
I
her
know.
belly. Like it stands just lit, and I'm
seen my
like,
son dancing to it.
it's actually a
See-
banger. It's actually a banger.
And the mad
Now
thing
drill
is,
is alright. They got some little like what is it like?
there's drill from other countries. I've seen drill from
Punchlines, like some
Australia.
little catchy punchlines.
I've seen drill from Canada. I've seen drill
Yeah,
from
because that's what
France.
saying Presser's from Toronto.
And I've got
He's
brethren. I've got
But people
brethren
saying they
from
didn't
France
like
as
him
well.
on it.
So I've seen like the Paris drill and what have you. Like there's drill all over the world right now. I think there's even drill in
You know
Japan.
what? I'm actually not
saying-
surprised.
But
I'm not
who
surprised.
did
I'm
give it a
surprised.
name? I am really intrigued. Like, where did this come from? Because I
Chicago.
literally.
Chicago.
Because in
that's
Chicago,
the
that's where they
origins.
started.
But
innit?
what is it? But it don't sound the same. Or is that because of their
Because you got
accents?
trap as well. And I always thought drill, I thought it was all the same thing.
When I heard this
But for me,
drillings, I was
it's
like,
not.
is this really
I mean,
what's
Jeezy
happened?
is like trap music.
Oh, the other name on the tune I should have mentioned, Gets. Put him on there as well. Yeah.
Oh, his
So Gets,
energy.
Tiny Boosts, Crazy Titch, and who was the other person we said?
I'm top free selecting.
Temperature.
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 But I'll be honest
Score in a
with
drill
you.
tune.
I'm top
I
free
think
selecting.
some
Just please.
some way, somehow, please.
Praise teas in prison.
Yeah, but somehow,
You'll find a way, man.
Vibes Cartel's making tunes. Like, listen,
Every
British
day.
government, do something, innit? Hook it up, man.
It seems
Crazy
that-
Titch, if you see this video, start writing some lyrics for a drill tune now. Just see what
Maybe
happens.
they don't want to though. Maybe they don't even like
Stop being
drill.
negative, man.
Sorry.
This could save the scene, you get me?
Save it how?
I don't know, it might be a tune that's a classic and then like 20 years from now.
That's what I'm saying. If
Listen,
you
the
bring out a
classics,
classic.
the classics are already in motion. Like they're already
But
in
that's
motion.
not saying that this classic's not,
Comet
that
and
they can't be
Beat,
made already.
Gun lean. Like,
Yeah, but that doesn't
there's
mean,
that-
for you to say classics are in motion already, that's not like there's more classics
So-
to come.
Of course there is,
Alright,
definitely,
so let's
but
put it to a vote.
they're
Go
like
on,
the
go on,
greatest.
And not only that,
ones.
those names he just said on it, that's a classic alone. That's a sellout. But go on.
So let's put it to a vote. So do any of you think drill's gonna last?
I actually think
Yeah.
Jill is gonna last.
I think it's gonna
Have
go
you
for a
seen the
period.
remix
It's
to
gonna
that
go for a
Homer and B
period.
tune? Some of them remixes to it. There's
Yeah.
like some techno remixes and stuff. It's that
To drill?
yeah, there is a techno remix to that Homer and B. Yeah, it sounds mad. It sounds mad. It sounds mad. So that's gonna
what
go
I'm
off for
saying,
years in house raves and
Let it go.
Ibiza and stuff.
Obviously the violence thing, that's got to stop in it. But let it evolve from that.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're gonna start seeing more people dropping more comedy in their drill tunes. You're gonna see more people giving it
I
more
think-
comedic side so it still bangs and whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
agreeing
things
with
do
you,
have
you know.
to change
Because
in it a bit.
what I
That's
think
what
is,
it
yeah,
is.
we need to
Let's go
stop
into it right now,
condemning.
man.
We need to stop condemning the drill music
Yeah, let
because
these man get out of jail. Let them squash some beef with some of the ops.
Yeah.
Let them get their heart broken.
let them live life and find
Let some of
experience.
these drill artists have to pay child support with some PRS money, and then it'll get more mature. You get me? It'll change.
That's what I'm saying. So this is gonna go. It's going through a whole cycle. So drill is going through the same
Drill
cycle
is just
that
an unruly
rap went through. It's going through what Grimes gone through already. Now drill's going through his own thing. So I believe drill is gonna come and do a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna disappear. It's gonna go light, because R&B's coming back, y'all.
And you know
It's
what?
coming back.
For all you parents that keep on banning drill, but some of you parents are still taking your son's trap money. Ooh, yeah, did I just say that? Yes, I did. So don't go to blaming drill. Some of you parents are taking
Double
the piss.
standards.
You parents are the reasons for it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
my
usually
Lord.
you
You
got
don't need to pay electric.
You know, like
You
that.
get me? So
Baby, go on.
Parents of the year, right here. These two.
huh?
Parents of the year. These two.
Boy, ask my
of the
son.
year.
You know what I mean? He'll tell you.
Yeah. So guys, we basically come to an end of another great beer talks. We done talked about the one subject, which is drill. I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna plug an event that I actually host. Is a monthly basis. It's called United Vibes. So if there's any trap artists, R&B singers, rappers, whatever the case may be, even poets, come through and we'll basically get you on the open mic as well. Also, these guys have come to the event also. Some of them are gonna lie for me, innit? Don't know. But no. Wayne's come to one of the events before, and
Yeah.
trust me, it was lit the time that he came. We was at a place called New Cross Amersham Arms or something like that. Anyways, I say something like that because we
Amersham Arms.
Amersham
It's
Arms.
right near New Cross Station.
New Cross. So we were there. We were doing a show there. Anyway, so if anybody, I'm gonna description down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow also. And this gentleman has been
Gang.
That is all
Wayne
now.
Riley.
this lady here
Levi P.
and this gentleman over here.
Omar the author.
And my name is IC Jones. Thank you and good night.
Peace.